As an adored character in The Simpsons, Marjorie Bouvier Simpson is the glue responsible for keeping the Simpsons family together. And through the course of her life, she has had quite the adventure, some of which include getting jailed for shoplifting, showing alcoholic tendencies, cheating in a cooking competition, and the greatest of all, getting married to Homer regardless of her parents' disapproval. Although she isn't perfect, Marge's personality is, I am gonna support my family no matter what. You dare not forget that Marge has been a cop no one messes with, an amazing trade show model, a crazy real estate agent who really loves her blazer, an amazing bodybuilder, a power plant employee, and an erotic model for a calendar. Whew! For the purpose of this video, we will dig deep into the exciting moments from her early life as a little blue-headed girl to her old age where she dies unexpectedly. Without further ado, Marge Simpson's origin story. Once upon a time, on the 19th of March in 1953 to be precise, Marge Bouvier was born. This innocent little blue-haired girl was born into the family of Clancy and Jacqueline Bouvier as the youngest daughter who had a pair of elder sisters, Patty and Selma, always available to tease and bully her. In episode 21 of season 2, Marge recounts one very traumatic event of her childhood to Bart. You see, Bart had asked Homer for $100 to get a comic book, but Homer refused. So Marge empathizes with Bart as she recounts her childhood days when she wanted a child-size electric light bulb oven, and her parents did not give her any money, so she decided to ask her sisters for support.
We'll give you half our allowance. But you have to be our slave.
Little Marge worked and worked for months while Patty and Selma smoked and smoked all the time. Eventually, Marge finally gets her dream oven, and she even used it to make treats for her bullying sisters. At that age, you could tell that Marge wasn't so happy in her family, and she never got the fun experience other kids would have with their older siblings at her age. But her mom had advised her to keep on smiling no matter the situation. Fret not, for Marge did have her fair share of fun experiences, of which her Ducky character in the future explains all of that. Age 8, Marge's first love. How would you feel if after 2 years of staying with your lover, you find out that they were actually your first love? Unbelievable, right? At least you should have known what they looked like. But nope, this is the meet-cute of Marge and Homer. The Camp Landa man had the responsibility of teaching the girls how to walk, speak, and act right, and as such, little Marge was a quick learner and an outstanding student. Meanwhile, at the girls' camp, the girls had a special dinner where Marge slid her empty food tray by mistake alongside her retainer, and a stranger with the name Elvis picked it up for her.
You know, doing dishes has been the best part of camp.
Really? Why?
Because I talked to you.
Oh.
Marge asked the stranger to go on a date with her. During her preparations for this date, she ended up turning her entire blue hair brunette after burning parts of it with an iron because she didn't have hair straightener. When she visits this stranger, it turns out he has an eye patch, but it didn't matter as they shared their first kiss. Aw, what a heartfelt experience. Marge gives Elvis a heart-shaped rock and they part ways with the intentions of seeing each other the following night. Unfortunately, Elvis never comes back, leaving Marge heartbroken at such a young age. In present-day Simpsons timeline, when Marge decides to take Homer and Bart to the Simpsons family court to settle their dispute, she explains that Homer's first kiss was with her in high school. Then, Homer takes her by surprise by telling her that there was actually someone else before her. This is when reality kicks in and Marge realizes that her first love, who had broken her heart in the past, was actually Homer, who had just faked his name Elvis. We ask again, how would you feel if after 2 years of staying with your lover, you find out that they were actually your first love? Well, Marge got really angry and hurt, but later on she forgave Homer. Really forgave him.
Oh, Elvis.
Prom. Way before Marge finally realized that Homer was her first kiss and first heartbreak, she always believed that the first time they actually met was in high school. The year is 1974 and Marge is still in high school.
We were seniors in high school, but we had never even met.
You could tell that with her blue hair brushed back that she was one of the prettiest seniors back then. You see what I'm talking about? After burning a brasserie on school grounds, she gets sent to detention for a day where she meets Homer in the detention room.
Excuse me, is this room 106?
Hey, who's that? I don't know.
Why do birds sing?
You can tell from this stare that Homer would do anything to get the beautiful Marge by his side. Unfortunately for Homer, Marge had other plans and eyes for another guy called Artie Ziff. All attempts made by Homer to impress her failed, but he finally asked Marge to go to prom with him with the pretense of letting her tutor him in French. Marge accepted Homer's request, but during her debate tournament, she lost to Artie, who asked her out to prom out of pity. At the end of it all, she went to prom with Artie, leaving Homer crying outside the party grounds. Marge and Artie then became the prom queen and king of the school that year, but that didn't stop Artie from trying to force himself on Marge, nor did it stop Marge from giving him a dirty slap. What a wonderful way to end a prom night. But it didn't really end there. On her way back, she saw the frustrated Homer and decided to pick him up on the side of the road. She ended up confessing that she regretted her decision of not going to prom with him. That's when Homer also explained that he would not let her go. Let's just say this is when Homer realized that Marge was his soulmate. This is seen frequently in the future, where they always come back together no matter the number of times they argue or fight. Marge in college. This period is easily one of the darkest points in Marge's relationship with Homer. Marge had just moved into her first apartment with Homer, and soon after, she got an acceptance letter into Springfield University. But unfortunately for her, she couldn't afford the fees because it was so expensive.
An expensive dream.
Homer couldn't sit back and watch his girlfriend miss such an opportunity, even if it meant working a demeaning job at his dad's laser tag business to pay her tuition. However, on her first day of college, Marge met a pretentious professor named Stefan August and quickly fell for him, leaving poor Homer behind. August successfully got Marge to break up with Homer and date him, but dating the pompous professor turned out to be less enjoyable than she expected, as he condescendingly talked down to her and acted superior. He even went as far as saying,
"It's statements like that make people say women are stupid."
Eventually, Marge dumped the arrogant professor and then realized how much she missed Homer's love. She returned to Homer and admitted her mistake, acknowledging the importance of their love. It's important to remember that this portrayal of Marge may not be the most flattering, but it does show how young and naive she was. It's easy to be tempted by the idea that the grass is greener on the other side and fall for a fantasy when you already have something great right in front of you. I sure hope you didn't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe. If you did, then what are you waiting for? Age 20, Homer and Marge forever. Marge and Homer got stranded after a bike ride, but fortunately, a kind-hearted Samaritan named Ned Flanders drove by and offered them a lift. Marge was quite impressed by Ned's generosity. Ned was on his honeymoon with his wife, Maud Flanders, at the time. Ned took them to a place called Cozy Cabins and did his best to make sure that the unmarried Marge and Homer didn't engage in any inappropriate behavior. The next day saw Ned advise Homer on marriage, and shortly after, Homer expressed his belief to Marge that he and Marge would eventually get married, and as a symbol of his commitment, he carved their initials onto a tree. Age 26, marriage. Marge and Homer were happily married without children. They enjoyed going to the movies and having romantic dinners together. Marge pursued a career in journalism, aligning with her earlier activist ambitions. Life seemed perfect, and Marge expressed her happiness. However, a year later, during a night of mini-golf in a windmill, their lives took a sudden turn when Marge became pregnant after a, passionate evening. Homer, with no financial resources, proposed to Marge, and they had a modest wedding at a seedy wedding chapel. Their honeymoon wasn't extravagant, and they ended up at a truck stop and slept on a living room couch at Marge's family's house. After failing to secure a job, Homer felt like a failure and left, promising to send all his earnings to support Marge. She was devastated, but eventually learned about his whereabouts and drove to get him back. No matter how Homer messes up, Marge always sees his good intentions and loves him for who he is. Present day. At age 37, Marge has 3 children, Lisa, Bart, and Maggie, as well as her husband Homer. Marge's primary role is that of a homemaker, but she has occasionally explored various jobs, including owning a bakery, managing a gym, working as a carpenter, and even teaching at Springfield Elementary. She also had some daring occupations, like catching a snake swindler and joining the police force, where she took her job seriously, even arresting Homer once for stealing a hat. However, she quit the force due to its corruption, unwilling to compromise her integrity. Marge's strong sense of morality often got in the way of her career ambitions, but she found herself running for mayor after Mayor Quimby's mishandling of the monorail crisis. In addition to her political career, Marge also became an Olympic medalist, winning gold in ice curling alongside Homer. Overall, Marge's journey is a testament to her resilience and determination as she thrives in various roles and challenges societal expectations. Lisa's wedding. At age 52, Marge is excited because Lisa is getting married. Lisa asks Marge to promise that Homer won't ruin the wedding, so Marge takes the precaution of putting a restraining order on Homer to prevent him from making any wedding decisions. Throughout the show, Marge and Lisa's relationship has always been strong. Marge has been supportive, encouraging Lisa to express her feelings. On the morning of Lisa's wedding, Marge even cuts off a piece of her hair for Lisa to have something blue, which makes her feel better about wearing white. Grandma Marge. At age 67, Marge is enjoying her role as a grandmother. All 3 of her children have grown up, started their own families, and left the nest. Bart is a divorcee with 2 kids, Lisa is married to Milhouse and has a daughter, and Maggie is pregnant. However, the family isn't always in a state of perfect harmony during the holidays, as Marge's children are struggling with parenthood. Marge tries to offer Lisa some advice, but she is quickly brushed off and told that she doesn't understand what it's like. Later on, Bart reminds Lisa that their mom did a great job raising her, and perhaps she shouldn't be so quick to dismiss Marge's advice. Lisa takes this to heart and wakes her mother up to apologize, recognizing the wisdom and experience that Marge can offer as a mother and grandmother. President Lisa. When Marge is 70, Lisa becomes the President of the United States, and Homer and Marge now live with her in the White House. Despite the likelihood of having numerous servants, Marge continues to do the laundry and looks after Maggie Jr., while Maggie herself is presumably touring the world with her band as she has become a rock star. Marge's character remains consistent, embodying care and nurturing for her family even in her later years. Death. At the age of 84, the character of Marge, or should I say Marge Flanders, as seen in the episode Flanders' Ladder, is now married to Ned Flanders. This relationship presumably developed after the last of Homer's many clones has disappeared or his android body has been shut off. The pairing of Marge and Ned makes sense, as they had a flirty relationship in the past, with Marge using Ned as the inspiration for the muscular hero in her novel. They even shared a steamy moment when they served each other ice cream and strawberries. In the episode, Marge passes away after sipping tea and dies at the age of 84. Her photo is then added to the wall of Ned Flanders' many deceased wives. The circumstances of her death are somewhat suspicious, but it's a humorous twist in the storyline. This marks the conclusion of the complete Marge Simpson's timeline, showcasing the character's journey through various stages of life and adventures in the world of The Simpsons. Thanks for watching this video. If you've watched up to this point, then you should definitely subscribe and tap that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we bring another video your way. And don't forget to like, share, and comment. See you in the next one.